as opposed to just writing one book, now you've written two, you're going to write others, I'm assuming. And this now has become your, not brand is the wrong word, but your thing. This is what you're doing. This is what people think of when they think of you.
Mhm. Well,
And
I'm enjoying it. I never was the kind of person that learned through textbook at school. I didn't learn really going to class. I don't remember anything from college. I mean, I went to American University. The tuition at American University is $40,000 a year today. I don't know. It was way less when I went. I'm 50. But for $160,000 present dollars of a college tuition, I remember specifically one lesson at school. I actually call it the $160,000 lesson, but
what was the lesson?
I was taking an advertising class my senior year, and I was at a crossroads in my life. I was either going to go into the music business, which I love, that was my passion, or I was going to sell a product called Aunt Franny's Brownies, because I had a roommate in college who had an Aunt Franny, and every month she sent us this shipment of brownies, and I don't know what she put in these brownies, but I was like, they made everybody laugh. I'm like, I can market these brownies. She was ahead of her time.
See, so in other words, you don't know what you put in these brownies, but it's about to be legal in all 50
Right,
states.
exactly. And I'm like, they don't taste like the brownies I'm getting at the supermarket. No, but in all seriousness, I was like, these are delicious brownies, and I'm going to go into the brownie business. I'm going to sell brownies after college. For my final exam in this advertising class, my senior year, we had to create a fictitious brand from scratch, soup to nuts, slogan, advertising, campaign, packaging, jingle, which I was good at, and present it to the class. I'm like, I'm going to use this class as my R&D department. If the professor likes Aunt Franny's brownies and this campaign, I'm going to roll it out and go into the brownie business. So the way our final was the way our classroom and the final was kind of situated, there was 100 people, kids in the class. And the professor said everybody had to hand in their campaign, but he was going to pick 5 people out of a class of 100 at random that had to do an oral presentation of their product, like a state of the union of the industry they're going into, present the campaign or whatever. I'm a senior in college. There's a 5% chance I'm going to get picked. Like, nobody prepared for the oral presentation. You didn't want to get picked. You just wanted to hand it in your thing and go enjoy the summer. So I walk in for the final. He says, all right, I'm going to do this the Democratic way. Everybody write down your name. I'll put it into a hat. He literally passed around a hat, and I'll pick out the 5 people that are going to present today their final. Sitting to my right in the classroom was this guy named, we'll just call him Ronnie. And Ronnie was a professional jackass. Ronnie bullied half of this classroom for 4 years of college. So I took 20 pieces of paper. When the professor came around, I wrote Ronnie's name down. And I stuffed it into it. I was like, Ronnie. I overloaded the hat with Ronnie's name. The professor gets all the names and picks out the first name. And sure, this is a true story. The first name that comes up out of the hat is Jesse Itzler, because the jackass did the same exact thing.
Oh my
He
God.
stuffed like 30 Jesse Itzlers into the hat. So I'm like, I go up there and I start pitching Aunt Franny's brownies. And 30 seconds in, for $160,000 of my parents' very hard-earned money, the professor says, stop. 30 seconds in. He was like a Southern guy, and I forgot his name, but he goes, son, I want to know, what is your point of differentiation? And I said, I'm a brownie. I'm moist. I'm delicious. I could be gluten-free if you want me to be gluten-free. I'm home-baked. And he said, no. And he said, and this is the lesson. He said, son, there's 1,000 brownies that come out every day. And substitute brownie for restaurateur, author, manufacturer, lawyer, whatever you're going to do. There's 1,000 of them that come out every day. If you want to be great and make it in this world, you better be a much different brownie than everybody else. And you're just a brownie right now.
You can't even be, this is an important point he's making, I think, because you can't even be 10% better, because the average person can't tell the difference between 10% better and the regular brownie. You have to literally be 10 times better, which I don't know if that's possible in brownies.
Well, what he taught me was, and it's something that here I am 30 years later, and I think about it all the time. How am I different? How is my book different? How is my product different? How am I raising my kids different? I mean, we live by a playbook. Well, what if we rip up the playbook? If no one ever taught you, I mean, my wife and I talk about this all the time, and she always tells her employees this. I tell my employees this. If no one taught you how to do your job, how would you do it? because we just hand off the playbook. Here's how we do it. This is how we market this product. We have a launch day, and then you go and you do all this stuff. And like, okay, if you do the same thing that everybody does, you're going to get the same results. It's funny. I mean, not to belabor this point, but I recently tried out for an over 40 basketball team that was going to go play in Israel. And there were 15 slots for the open slots. But of the 15 positions on the team, 10 of the guys were returning. So there were really 80 guys trying out for 5 openings. And I knew that I was definitely not one of the better players there. And I had to be a brownie. I had to stand out. I had to do something to make myself noticeable. So a month or 60 days before tryouts, they sent everybody a suggested training schedule. This is what you should follow to be in shape for camp. And I immediately realized that if I followed this program, I would be in the exact same shape as everybody. But if I doubled the program, I'd be in the best shape of anybody. And that would be my brownie. That's how I would stand out. I wouldn't be the best, but I would be the guy that never stops, ever. So I literally, in my driveway, doubled for the 60 days everything they said to do. And I would be exhausted on my driveway. And when we got to the camp, for the first scrimmage, I said, okay, I'm going to guard the best player on the team last year because they'll have eyes on me. And I guarded him nose to nose I didn't let this guy have 1 inch. And about 4 minutes in, he went to his knees and took like some really, really deep breaths. He was gassed. And I said to myself, he wasn't on the driveway. He wasn't on the driveway with me. He didn't do what I did to get here. And I knew at that moment I was going to make the team.
And so did you make it?
I did make the team. But my point is I made it because I was a different brownie. I ripped up the playbook and I got different results than the other 80 people that went for the tryout.